Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Count Christo and thank you ever so very much for joining me. We are playing the Best of Both Worlds campaign as the mighty German Empire led by Wilhelm II. Wilhelm has seen a period of great expansion. Italy and almost all of the Balkans have fallen under his influence. And once we've done army innovations, we're going to move on. Japan offers Changdao trade. Japanese officials have contacts with a potential trade. These will satisfy both parties. They proposed the return of Changdao to its rightful German hands in return for immediate withdrawal of von Falkenhausen's mission to China. Abso-freaking-lutely. I've never seen this before. Oh, I thought I was going to get the whole peninsula. Still cool. Japan returns German rule to Tanzhou. We shall see a return to our colonial glory yet. Meanwhile, should we send some volunteers to China? That seems fun, doesn't it? I don't think you can send expeditionary forces as volunteers, so we'll take those out. But absolutely, I'm going to send 11 tank divisions to China. I thought I was going to get the whole peninsula, Japan. This is not what we agreed to. We can have a bit of peace. I'm liking this campaign in that we've managed to avoid World War II so far, which has been it's been fun. War propaganda against Japan, not really needed. Ooh, we can develop oil fields in Sirte down here. How much do we get? 8 oil, not bad. That's 2 buildings worth, and it uses 60 days, 3 civ factories. That's much less than it would cost to produce 8 oil if you were doing it with buildings. So we need extraction 3 at some point. All right, cool. We are now benefiting from any tank technology that the Italians invent, I think. Oh no, maybe because that's when they weren't with us when Hungary actually set up the treaty. Fair enough. So Greece, I'm curious as to whether or not. Hey, Kaiser Challenge met. The world has got over the fact that we had to smuggle our Kaiser in. Yeah, I think a bit of a tank operation against the Japanese seems very good fun. What's this? Ah, more Romanian troops. That's excellent. Just what I needed to go hold Benghazi. Fantastic. Okay, have we finally researched those friggin' nav bombers? Not yet. We'll speed 5 it up. That's fine. So the Soviets will move against us eventually. They might move against the Allies first, which should be kind of entertaining. We're going to do a speed 3 tank campaign against China, because I know that you guys don't like it when I do huge long campaigns in China, even though I like it. So we're going to quickly liberate Nanking. Wipe out all the people in the pocket that will create. And then we're going to do another one, probably by driving to Mongolia through this hill and desert area. Perfect terrain for our tanks. It's appropriate, really, to have Victoria 2 music playing over, us playing as Wilhelm. Really a figure of the Victorian age more than the HOI age. Alright, there we go. Good. Victorian meaning the game, not... Actually, I know he didn't... Well, did he live at the same time as Victoria? I don't know. Probably not. Carrier Naval Bomber 2 with a max attack, please. Close. Close, reopen. That one. Yes, please and thank you. I'll take 10, please. Again, we'll just hurt our production of these temporarily. Oh, right. Those all went to tanks. Whoops. There we go. Good. And now, as soon as we produce 1, we'll be able to assign it a wing properly. Should be good. So what should we research? I'd love... Wait, wasn't I supposed to get 100% ahead of time? Oh no, that's coming up next. I remember. That's this one. Yeah. But we did need to do the land doctrine one in more of a hurry, I think. Well, excavation 3 does sound quite nice, as does rubber, as does artillery bonuses, as does breakthrough bonuses, as does all kinds of things, in fact. We'll take the Panzer IVs, though. Ooh, speaking of the Panzer IVs, this should be red. And we'll give them a fallback line to assigned to. Yeah, big deficit on tanks. So let's turn off building any more of those. Although no, it's a bad idea because they're doing it. We'll put it down at minimum because they can still train to 53%. It takes so long to train tank divisions. Is one of the big limiting things about tank divisions is how long it takes them to train. So we should make the most of the fact that you can train up to 50%, a tank division up to, you know, about 53% in that case, without any tanks. Which is a bit funny when you put it that way, but there you go. I mean, it's not that funny. You can train in up to about 50% training, being like more kind of theoretical. I guess you don't need a tank there to be able to say like, okay, for this training exercise, we're going to act like there's a tank there. But I don't know, maybe you couldn't do 50% without that. Surprisingly enough, you know, shocking no one, I don't know much about exactly how military training works. So us and the Soviets are actually fighting side by side over here in China, which is interesting. We never raised our manpower law in that war against Italy because I'm a dumb individual. Oh well. Not the end of the world. Maybe we'd be better off with smaller encirclements, but this just feels so much grander, rampaging through this open, you know, this open plain in eastern China with our few tank divisions merrily destroying years of Japanese effort. Let's go up here. It's good. We should really be going for localized encirclements as well as the kind of the big plays. So I will make attempts to do that as well. Good job. Just clear out all of this. The kind of empty rampaging really should be done by the light tank divisions, but we honestly don't have very many of them now. So supply up here is an issue because of the low infrastructure. If Britain could get on the case, that would be helpful. The Chinese United Front presumably includes all these people. Yeah, so Manchu Clique is really not committing as many men as they could to help out here. How utterly unique. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, well, liberation of Nanking is at hand. These guys we will send north. In fact, we don't really need to capture that bit up there. Send all the way down this side. In fact, just beeline the ports to just decimate the Japanese supply lines. Seems most sensible. If you would come round so you're not crossing the river, that would be ideal. You too. Extend this in here. That would be fine. Good. Just have to keep an eye over here because, yeah, this city mustn't fall. Sichuan province must remain under Chinese control. I must keep an eye on what's going on in the... Oh, yep, Soviets are justifying on Estonia. In fact, they got it by event. Yeah, that's unfortunate. No matter. Not a big deal. We could grow Hungary if we wanted to. We could give them Transylvania. I think the borders might look a bit nicer if they did have Transylvania. So maybe at some point we will do the Second Vienna Award. Obviously, because they're both our puppets, I'm pretty sure we can force it on them. Relatively sure that is how that works. If you could do a quick crossing there, that would be grand. They are rushing in more men to meet the oncoming German tanks, but to no avail. Superior German technology will annihilate these Japanese that dare to give us only one of these small provinces. Modified government? Oh yes, of course, because we have Wilhelm with imperial connections. Probably Armor Genius. Obviously, we can't get mobilization. Can't do extensive conscription because you have to be at war. So yeah, I think Armor Genius is the logical pick here. More troops, marvelous. Again, just Benghazi needs your aid. So we've got 40 ships here. Where are the rest of your ships, Italy? I wonder. Not down here, are they? We're not going to hold Ethiopia, probably, in the case of a war, but just having those extra 4 factories, it's nice in the brief period up to a potential war with England. And, you know, war with England, it could be a way off. We've got... I don't know whether war will break out first with the Soviets or with the British. Obviously, we'd like to avoid it being both. but you don't always get to choose your fate in this life, so we may not get our wish on that. But we'll see. Already collapsing large parts of the Japanese line. It looks like the WWII guys are fighting valiantly, despite this Japanese push cutting them off. Yes, Xinjiang is in on the Chinese United Front, actually, so it's not entirely cut off. In fact, those units I was referring to as WWII, are those Xinjiang units? No, they're just normal Nationalist China units, right. Fair enough. Just power through here. Obviously they pocketed us there, but that's fine. We've got supply from the ports, and we can unpocket ourselves without too much difficulty. Basically now, wherever along this line they deploy is fine, because we're just in mass pocket closing mode now. There we go, another Japanese unit in circles. You can rush in here. Brilliant. I wish you could take control of your puppets' fleets like you can their armies. Maybe it would be really overpowered, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Like with the Case Anton thing. Good. There we go. Almost cut off every single one of these guys' ports, at which point they will become somewhat ludicrously easy to dislodge from the region. Move these medium tanks straight into the mountains. Everyone knows that's where tanks fight best. Good. Rush these guys down here. Nice. Another port falls into Chinese hands. Secure the Philippines. Yeah, it seems like a good time to go to war with the Allies, doesn't it, Japan? So Japan is about to start World War II. Well, does it count as a world war? You have to have more than 50% of the great powers involved in order for it to count as a world war. So in this one, there'd be the United States, United Kingdom, France, and Japan. And the other great powers are Germany and the Soviets. So yep, that's more than 50% of the great powers. So I think by that definition of world war, anyway, that would apply. I really like that definition of world war, by the way. It's from... I actually don't know where it's from originally. I read it in a fantastic book about violence and war throughout history called The Better Angels of Our Nature, which I know I've mentioned before, but it bears mentioning. It's an extremely good book. But what do you think of that as a definition for a world war? A war in which more than 50% of the great powers of the world are involved. And obviously what you choose to how you choose to define great power, rather, is a... it can be a slippery term. But I think in this context it's quite obvious that the great powers are the US, the UK, France, Germany, Soviet Union, and Japan, and that's it. Now, who are the other contenders? The Raj, Brazil, come on. I mean, be serious. There's basically no other contenders. So I think that works quite well. Which is why, like, you know, if Germany went to war with France and England, and no other major powers got involved, I mean, that is 50% of the great powers, but I really don't feel like that would be a world war. Even if they fought it on an international stage, I don't think that would be a world war. You know, even if there were serious action in Africa and stuff, I don't know, it wouldn't feel right calling that a world war to me. Okay, well, there we go. Southern Japanese resistance all but squashed. China's font looking rather a bit nicer. Navy experience, of course, going to go on to this Graf Zeppelin class. They're all called Graf Zeppelin. I saw this one was called the Graf Zeppelin as well. No? I'm just crazy. Alright. Oh, hey, the Europa class! I sailed on a ship called the Europa. That's cool. Not that ship, obviously. Not the, whatever, passenger liner that got converted, or in this timeline is going to get converted. So I think we just crush up here, basically. I was saying we should do up here, but I think if we just keep crushing along the coast, doing little pockets like that, until all this area is cut off, that's going to be absolutely devastating. the Japanese war effort. I mean, normally I think I'm of the impression that commenters don't like the my extended volunteer campaigns, but I hope you do, because I think it's really good fun. You know, I enjoy, and you know, it's still fighting, isn't it? It's just that we're fighting on behalf of an ally. If I could imagine, like, my perfect game of HOI, not my perfect game of HOI, but a really good fun mod that someone would make would be like, there's two nations on opposite sides of a huge ocean, and then the ocean is full. We could totally make this mod. I want to try and find someone smarter than me to make parts of this mod. I could make parts of it, but I couldn't do the terrain stuff. There's one nation over here, there's one nation over here, and then in the middle there's lots of islands. And on each island there are two people, or one person that will have a civil war, right? And then what you do is each side sends volunteers and lend-lease and stuff to support each of the things, and then depending on how many islands they get points, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins. Or an alternate way of doing it would be, depending on who wins on each island, the person back home gets like a 20% industry dockyard output bonus, and then you actually have a fight, and obviously the person with the massively better navy is going to win. So you can have it happen slightly more organically rather than just using points. I think I'm going to do a video on that idea. I feel like that would be a really fun mod, but I would definitely need help to make it, because I haven't the foggiest idea how you make land like different. And obviously it's a mod that would be best suited to be made after Man the Guns, so you have cool naval mechanics and exiled governments helping out the losers, so it's a bit more balanced and that kind of thing. I like that idea. I think it's a very cool idea. Comment how you think I could improve that idea, or if you think it's a terrible idea or whatever, because I think I may look into that. It could be very interesting. Oh right. Okay, what's the limiting factor here? The naval base. 3 is giving 8, so we need level 6. Oh, it's level 2. All right, 2 more should be plenty then. Hey, free naval dockyards. Very cool, because they finished the second carrier. Sweet. Let's have those merge up. And the second one actually automatically got the right composition as well. Let's put some more nav bombers on it. And this one will need its... Alright, I can't put the nav bombers on yet because this place is... this one's hogging them all. So I'll do this so I can then put some on here. And then we can set them actually to what we would like. 30, 20, I think I said. Yeah, let's go 35. Something like that. Yeah, it'd be easier to see once they're actually full. More free dockyards. I think once we research this, obviously we'll just stop building any of these. But I don't really want to waste time researching the Bismarck and the Hindenburg when we're just going to be building the super heavy battleships. So, what we should research from a naval perspective is the Prince Eugens, so we can start building some of them. Until we do that, I'll put them on just building more hippers. Oh, we still have more. I guess we could try and bang out one of these before we research the next tier. Oh no, you know what we should build? Freaking convoys, mate. Haven't got any convoys being built the whole campaign. No worries. We can sort that. Why did you just pick more? Why should we just take all we can from them? Oh, hey, Romania's getting better and better extraction tech. That's fabulous. We can stop importing from the US almost. Beautiful. Oh, right. Don't we have... Isn't there tungsten? What freaking number? Yeah, there's some tungsten here. Not much, though. It's a bit down here. We should get some more infrastructure here to increase the tungsten production, and the chromium's nice as well. Where else? So I think we established it does help here, but it's only 1, so it really doesn't feel like it's worth building just for the 1 we'd get out of it. Where else would we like to build? Don't think there is anywhere. Unless there's stuff in... No, there's some rubber down there, but not really enough to make it feel worth it to me. Right, and that should be top priority build. Sorted. Okay. Alright, back to paying attention to microing this front. Do-do-do-do. Marvellous. We've reached the normal defensive line when you're playing China. Yeah, the AI is just not going to respond fast enough to these attacks to actually stop me getting mad encirclements. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. You just... No. There. Or if they didn't do that, we'll do this instead. He's strategically redeploying for sure. Let's crush these guys. Sweet. Yeah, just keep doing lots of little encirclements. They won't be able to stop us. They have too few men. So now, just in terms of raw numbers, the Chinese have substantially more men, especially considering they have all their allies helping out as well. Speaking of which, we could send volunteers to the allies, but I don't think I'm going to bother. Just doesn't seem worth it to me. The micro becomes annoying because you can't put volunteers to different people in the same army. So I think we won't bother with that. It's doing that. It's doing that. It's going across there. Fabulous. Just keep getting pocket after pocket. Okay, and as the Chinese campaign continues apace, I'm going to call it a part here. In the next the next episode, we will conquer all of Korea from Japan, which will force a white peace between China and Japan. And then we can turn our attention back to Europe and see where we want to expand next. I'm very tempted to at least attempt the second Ljubljana award and see if we can get Greece for free, which would be lovely. But until that next time, we will see. If you like the episode, do hit the like button. It helps out a great deal. Share it with all your friends and family and all this kind of good stuff. Anyway, see you next time. Bye-bye.